Welcome to another episode of Digital Ladies Unscripted, where we shine the spotlight on women making a difference in the digital asset space. Tonight, we're diving into with our very own Keda and her journey with her skincare business as she learns the rope of accepting cryptocurrency payments and explores innovative ways to tokenize her products. Plus, we'll hear how she's collaborating with project developers to bring real world value to blockchain projects. Good evening, ladies. How are we doing this evening?
Excellent.
Yes, I'm not mad at it. It's Monday. That's our day.
Huh?
It's our day. Monday is our day.
Monday is our day. Monday is Digital Ladies Unscripted Day, right? Well, guys, thank you for coming. There's 14 of you in the room this evening. Please share this out and we get more people in here. This is an hour show, so let's just kick it right off because we've got a whole bunch of questions for you, Miss Keda. How about please start us off talking about your Keda's Brew, what inspired you to start your business, and what's the heart of your brand? So exciting.
Well, I never really thought about getting into skincare, but I always want something that's going to work well. I want something that's going to moisturize well, and I had tried a beef tallow cream that I had gotten on Amazon, and it was good and it was fine. However, I was like, let me see if I can do it a little bit better. And one day I was out with my mom. We were at Costco, and they had some beef tallow that they were selling for cooking because, you can eat, what's, cooked with beef tallow. And I said, oh, well, I'll just pick this up. And the price that I paid for it was basically the same price as I paid for that one little jar. And I was like, well, let's see what I can do with it. And went home and tried it out and came up with a formulation of a beef tallow balm and let my mom try it. And she's in her 70s and, she tried it and fell in love with it. And so I said, okay, well, this is a success. And I said, well, maybe I can get something out of this or do something with it. And so very next day, I decided to go ahead and start an LLC for it. And then just started on the journey of making beef tallow balm and decided to make a couple of different kinds. So I started off with one that's just for regular skin and regular to dry skin, and just worked with some patchouli and frankincense. And then from there, decided to try a couple of different scents with that batch, and then came up with one for people that have dry to problem skin or eczema, psoriasis, anything like that. And just decided to use something that was a little bit more soothing. So I used colloidal oatmeal in that. And one of them doesn't have any type of essential oils in them at all. But I wanted something that would just be really nice and soothing and help without, being an issue. So I have one that has lavender and then one that has chamomile in it. So those are the different kinds. And from that, it has blossomed into many more things that I have decided to come up with, from a cleanser that I've kind of focused towards the men right now. But I will be not changing it, but I will be adding one that has a more feminine scent to it. And most recently, I actually was approached by a project here on Web3 for me to come up with a men's essential line. So
we got a bunch of questions about that in the latter half.
For sure.
There's definitely
it's been really cool. Yeah, it's been really a great journey, just to let things happen organically and just to allow myself to just really delve into my mind and see what else I can come up with for it, because Keda's Brew is the name of the company, but it's not about just with beef tallow balm. It could be anything, and I plan on making it anything that I just think up in my head. It's Keda's Brew.
I love it.
Yeah.
You had a question, didn't you, Lady K?
Well, she actually answered it, but I'm actually curious if you can kind of run down what those different oils do for your skin, right? Because
Oh,
you
for
have
sure.
frankincense, you
Oh,
have
yeah, that's a great question. So, both frankincense and patchouli have antimicrobial as well as antibiotic, antibacterial properties to them. And then I also use lemongrass, which is an anti-inflammatory and has just this nice citrusy smell, but you can't really tell. It's like almost lemony, almost orange. But you can't really tell what it is, but it's really citrusy. Lavender soothes everything. I mean, geez, Louise, that's why it's in everything for a baby. It's going to allow a baby to get some rest and relax, and it almost helps with, production of melatonin, which also helps to regulate sleep. And chamomile is just so soothing. Whenever you have like chamomile tea, it makes sense. So a lot of things will have chamomile in them. In the men's line, however, that's not what I was thinking about. I'm not even gonna lie. No, I'm gonna be honest, not even a little bit. I went with scents for men that I want to smell. I'm just gonna be honest with you. It totally selfish, totally selfish. But I decided that I wanted to make a scent that would make you go, wait, what was
Wait,
that?
wait.
What was that? What's that? I like
I
that.
have it in my hair right now because
I
it
love
smells
it.
so good.
So I went.
So for the
good for an
show,
artist.
he sent me some beard
That's
oil for
next.
Ryan, and I'm smelling it.
I love it. And that's the cool part. So it's great to be able to come up with these things. I've created a beard oil. That's what she's talking about. And that beard oil has no, we can talk about it. It's been right now. I made a prototype that I've kind of put out there in testing. So it's in beta testing right now. That's why I don't have anything that will have like a label on it or anything like that. But I have sent it out to some guys that are just great friends that can tell me, hey, this smells great. I got compliments on it. People said something to me about it. Ladies are like, what are you wearing? I don't want to wear my normal cologne anymore. So,
You don't need it.
and that's a really great compliment to me. I feel like, and I do want to give a shout out and say happy birthday to Ryan. Today is his birthday.
Happy birthday.
Ryan.
Happy birthday, Ryan.
And what was awesome about it is I chose scents that are very easily recognizable, lots of woodsy scents. And I used a little bit of sweet tobacco in there. So all of these things that you wouldn't necessarily think about, but mixed together, they're great. And they give us such a wonderful, manly scent. And I actually am incorporating that also. I've actually created a sugar scrub for the skin to exfoliate the skin, and I'm using those scents in there for now. I will be making a scent that's more associated with the ladies as well for the sugar scrub. I'm really excited about that because I use it and it's awesome. I mean, the sugar dissolves. It's not like, it definitely exfoliates, but the sugar dissolves, which is nice. So that makes me feel that much better. And it also moisturizes. So it's not like you have to put anything on after you use it. So that's what I like about it.
Yeah. Let's get to the nitty gritty.
Let's go.
Let's go. So now I know we know you, and guys, this is our 4th episode of Digital Ladies Unscripted. And if you've caught our previous episodes, you realize that we've kind of been doing a showcase spotlight on each of our lovely co-hosts. We did Lady K first, and then Optimistic Prime, and then Keda's Brew number 3. Well, this is it's our 4th show. So our first show was just kind of an overview about what we were going to do. But in this case, this is Keda's spotlight. And Keda, you're into crypto, you're into the digital assets.
Yes.
I think it'd be good to let our audience know how you first got introduced into cryptocurrency. And then most importantly for this show, what sparked your interest into bringing it into your own business? Was it the crypto first, then the business, or was it the business first, then the crypto?
Well, it was definitely the crypto first and then the business. So I got into crypto in 2021 ish. And my sister told me, hey, you need to get into this XRP thing. This is going to be a huge deal. And
Nice.
yeah, great sister. So I did get into it. I didn't really know a whole lot about it. So my objective was to find out as much as I could concerning XRP. So I went to YouTube University, just like everything else, and went searching out as many things as I could find. So I started off with Moon Lambo. Don't judge me. I started off with Moon Lambo.
We all had our mood Lambos.
Okay. And then found Digital Asset Investor and Digital Perspectives. All of those different ones that were out there, McAlphanine. I didn't know about CKJ at that time. But then I was watching a McAlphanine video, and what made it easier for me was I found T's Crypto Spot.
Gem.
And, you know, those of you that know T's Crypto Spot know that he would have these, you know, these live videos on YouTube, and they would go for like hours. And he's just, I won't say he's a savant, but he is so in tune with what is happening in this ecosystem, and had done whiteboards and all of those things to explain how everything was going to work together and interact with each other. And it's what really allowed me to understand just this whole ecosystem from a hodler standpoint. Okay. It wasn't until I was holding. I was like, hey, I'm a hold. I'm not going to do anything with it. I'm just going to let it sit until it can't sit anymore. And so I went to Vegas this year and went to the XRP convention in Vegas, and I got a chance to meet Opti for the first time there, because we knew each other from being on Dip a Toe together, and being on Ladies Night. However, we had never met in person, so we did get a chance to meet in person, and I found out that there was a whole nother world out here when it comes to this XRPL, not just XRP, but the XRPL, right? And that there were all kinds of projects that had been started and were flourishing and had communities that were just huge. And I was like, wow, this is bananas. And I had already started Keda's Brew. And we were doing the pre-party for Alan Steeples, prior to the convention. And I was like, oh, I'll sponsor, for the party, and then I'll have samples out. So, I came and, and was introduced to everybody that I had been seeing online, which was great. And from there, I really got a chance to see what was being built. And I was so intrigued. I met the guys from XPF. I met, some of the folks from Sigma. I met some of the people from Opulence. I met some of the people from XMeme. I met so many people just in that time frame. 68J was there with Crypto for Life. There were parties. There were get-togethers. There were dinners. It was so amazing. And what I found were so many great people doing great things and really trying to solve so many problems, out there. And they had real utility to the coins and NFTs that they were creating. So that to me was so cool. And then to be able to put faces and names and personalities with what you see, the avatar online, that's such a huge deal. Like people don't realize how important that is. Like the people that are here, aside from Lady K, which I know I will meet her like probably in the next 2 months because I'm coming to, New York in November. So I legit am like, I've hugged Opti's neck. I've hugged Melissa's neck. I've met the guys from XBF. I've met CKJ. All of these people I legit have met in person. And that makes a whole big difference. So when it comes to Keda's Brew, I was like, why can't I accept cryptocurrencies and digital assets? Why can't I do that? Why is that an issue? Like, I don't understand. Like, I have my own website, kedasbrew.com. You can go there. You can find out what I've made so far that is currently on the website. But I'm like, okay, why can't I accept digital assets and cryptocurrencies there? Right. Like that's what we're doing. If we're getting away from and wanting to make sure that we have real value for our currencies, why can't we do that? Right. And then I was in your boy Stone's Coffee and Crypto show with Lady K and Optimistic Prime. And he had Denny from Thorchain. And to me, I was like, oh, that's a game changer. Right. And then he mentioned, okay, well, just wait because there's going to be an app that's going to be on Thorchain called Mocha app. And it's going to allow for those people that have businesses to be able to accept digital assets and cryptocurrencies, right? And to have some bit of anonymity. And I'm like, oh, check, please. I'm here. Can I get some of that? So as soon as they're able to go ahead and release this, I'm looking to have that on my website so that I can accept those digital assets and cryptocurrencies. And I feel like that's going to be a better way for me to be able to have more value associated with my brand. Also to be able to have it out there for more people to see and to talk about and all of that. And then also to have more access. I'm here in the States, so I'm not sure how that'll affect me when it comes to like shipping things and things of that nature. However, just the fact that you're able to accept that as payment, you know what I mean? If this is what we're looking for in our ecosystem, this is a perfect way to be able to implement that and have it, even if it's a situation where it's just working in the background. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times that's when you know that you really have started to get real adoption is when things are working in the background and people don't even know that it's there. You know what I mean? And it's just, hey, we're using it already and you don't know.
Yeah.
So that's where that came from. And so it's been a real journey. I'm still learning. I'm still trying to wrap my brain around how I can implement Keda's Brew on Web3. And I've got some great help in place, to be able to do that. Because like, I don't profess to know everything at all. I don't, look, to treat me like I'm two, famous saying for me, treat me like I'm 2 years old and I don't know anything.
Let me ask you this. What's been the biggest challenge so far when you're into crypto already, you've met all these wonderful people,
Mm-hmm.
you created a product, you took the
Mm-hmm.
product with you, it's taken off, people love it.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're at the point where it's like, okay, I wanna accept this. I want to accept crypto payments. You might be starting to think about tokenizing your business. Like what has been a roadblock for you to actually do that at like in this early stage of the game? Because we're all new. We're new to all of this. What do you think is the challenge for that?
One thing that's a challenge for me is I'm not a techie. I'm gonna be honest with you. I am so not a techie at all. I'm not gonna front and act like I know how to code, know how to, program. I am not that girl. So I defer to those people that do know how to. You know what I'm saying? That do understand the coding, do understand how to implement these things, do understand tokenomics, do understand the NFTs and how they work and how they can work for the business in order to be able to make it So that one, we're still getting a utility out of it. I'm not one of these ones that believe that an NFT should just be a picture. And I'm not saying anything about it being just a picture. You know what I mean? But I've always been the person that asks, okay, if you're going to tell me about something that's online, that is on chain, I want to know what it does. Tell me what it does. Let me know what the utility is for it. How does it benefit the person that's purchasing it? Is it a situation where it's an NFT that represents a jar of cream, right? So that I can send that to them. You know what I mean? They purchase that and they redeem whatever it is. I want to know what those things are. Is it something that I know how to do? Absolutely not. That's my roadblock, is that I don't know how to do that. And it doesn't mean that I can't learn, won't learn, and won't understand it. But however, I want to make sure that I am not, one, screwing it up, okay, that I secondly have a viable avenue or utility that can be utilized, and three, that everybody is protected, including the consumer. That is so important. Just this past weekend, we have seen way too many situations where it's been some type of a rug pull or some type of shenanigans going on that people have no recourse for. And I never want that to be a situation.
Now, besides payments, are you looking at other ways to utilize Web3 with Keda's Brew, like supply chain management or?
Yeah, so it's funny that you say that. I actually had a conversation today, and I would have never thought of this way. What if there's a way to have an NFT that actually represents your inventory?
Yeah.
It allows you to be able
Let's
to
talk about that.
Yeah, it allows you to be able to keep track of how much inventory you have based on the amount of of NFTs that are left. Right.
And you make this, right? So like every batch, like the, list of ingredients or whatever, can be documented with that NFT.
Yep. Well, not only that, I've even taken the step that I actually have registered with the FDA. Okay. So I'm so on it when it comes down to it that I'm like, look, I'm fully doxxed. You know what I mean? I'll tell you right now, my name is Makita Lynette Maxwell. You know what I'm saying? That's my name. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, y'all see my face. This is me. Okay. I'm not here to try to take anything from anybody. I want to make sure that it is the most above board business that you can deal with. Right. What better way to do that than to register with the FDA? I don't have to license it because I don't make over $1 million a year. Right. And I'm producing it out of my own home. So it's not like I have to, I'm not producing it in a production company someplace where I can't tell what's being put in it. I can't say for certain what has been put into it. Right now, I'm a one-woman show when it comes to production, packaging, shipping, all of those things. That's me.
But the cool thing is, like Lady K said, so not only are you registered with the FDA, which you could also include that on the NFT as well. When someone purchases the NFT, they have all of the ingredients in there. And it kind of reminds me like early on, I heard of the concept of like seed to table, right?
Yeah.
Where everything's included in it. And I hadn't really thought a bit about that in terms of an NFT.
Yeah.
But it's similar to that. And it is a way of tracking inventory, of using an NFT to track inventory. Yeah, I mean, there's so many different ways that you can do this with cryptocurrency and NFTs. And so I'm just wondering, like, your thought process on, are you thinking about doing that relatively soon, where you're going to, give it a try? Because let's get real. Like, this is all kind of new. We're all beta testing this and trying to figure out how this works on a small scale. before you take something really huge. And to me, a business like Keda's Brew is perfect for that.
Yeah.
To be able to track the NFT and share with the person what they bought. They can see it. So I just wonder, like, what you think of that. Like, how are you planning for that?
Well, that's the thing. That was brand spanking new to me today. And so it's one of those things that I'm really, really, really like contemplating. How can I do that? Right. Because I know I had been asked before in a space, hey, if I make a purchase, how long does it take for you to ship? And for me, I'm the type of person, I make batches. So I always have stock of everything that I have that's on on the actual, website. I can say, hey, this is what it is. I actually have a website that I track everything. So, and normally, unless it is literally peer to peer, everything goes through my website. So I can actually say, hey, I've received your order. I've processed it. This is the shipping. I've shipped it out. You know what I mean? Like, just like I reached out to Lady K when, and it wasn't even through my website. I sent her something. I'm like, hey, you should be receiving it this day. I shipped it this day. You see what I'm saying? I'm very, very transparent in that way, because I really want to make sure that if someone is working with me as a business owner, I need them to know that they can trust that I am going to do what I say I'm going to do.
Mm. I want to thank everybody that's been reposting the stream. We got a lot of people in here, ladies. 199 people watching Digital Ladies Unscripted. Great conversation. Do either of you ladies have questions, Optimistic or Lady K?
I want to interrupt you 1,000 times.
Go for it, Opti.
Yeah, why don't you go first, because I have like a couple little things to like make comments in between. So if you have a specific question, go with that, and then
No, I mean, a million things are running through my mind with what you could do with all of that. I don't know if we want to go into all of that.
I mean, actually, well, here's what I think, Lady K. It's Digital Ladies Unscripted, and I think you should tell all of the ideas that are running through your head.
Absolutely. I want to know.
Yeah,
because it may be something I didn't think of. You know what I mean?
Love it.
Yeah,
All right.
something I didn't think of.
Well, so I'm thinking of Midnight and the ZKPs and how they're saying that you'd be able to, like, say, put your information, like your shipping address on that. And then
ZKPs are what?
Zero knowledge proofs.
Okay, thank you.
Which zero knowledge proofs basically means putting something on the blockchain without putting the actual information on the blockchain for all to see. But being able to prove that information was what was put on the blockchain.
I kind of heard about that. I heard about that before, but I'm going to be honest with you. I am not privy to the information concerning Midnight.
So check this out. You need a way to see somebody's shipping address, and you do it on your web 2 or through DMs. But what if somebody could put their shipping address on Midnight, and then when they do a transaction with you, authorize you to then see that information?
Yeah. To me, I feel like that's almost a non-fungible thing. You know what I mean? I think that's very interesting. You know what I mean? And the more ways that we're able to really work through these things and to make them easier for not only the business owner, but also for the consumer, I think we need to have these type of discussions, because this is the first time I'm hearing of that.
I have a question. Sorry, Opti, but you're talking about this. Now I am excited to learn more about this Midnight thing and the zero knowledge proofs. And for just what you said, where, you could kind of mask it. The person validates it. There's a way to validate it in a certain kind of way, to where, what if the person on the end, who Keda, for example, what if she doesn't need to see her address, What if eventually the shipper is the one? So once it's validated with that, the shipper's shipping it out. Because here's the thing. There's a lot of people, particularly in crypto, they don't want you knowing their address. So
That's true.
yeah, I want to buy your shirt, I want to buy your hat, but I don't want
But
you
I
to
don't
have
want
my
it.
address.
Because
right?
then it could be stolen. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
So I can see as this whole space evolves, there has to be a solution like that in the middle, so we can do commerce with one another without sharing. And so, wow, this is a eureka moment of how important.
Yeah, man. You just
True,
like totally, I'm
and-
totally mind blown right now.
True anonymity.
Yes.
I can't say that word.
Anonymity.
But
Anonymity.
even better though is that the XRP ledger is proposing ZKPs for the ledger. Of course, it's far from here, but it is a conversation.
But Midnight can do it now. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And shout out to Island Ghost.
Shout out. Hi, Island Ghost.
She always talks about this. Honestly, had
She does.
no idea what it meant until right now.
I
had
swear
no
I
idea.
didn't either. She's always like midnight.
Hey.
And I'm like, huh? What?
Kate Buddy
For me,
says,
it's
what
always-
other ZPKs, why Midnight, are there any others to look into and research? That's a great
XTC.
question, Kelly.
XDC. Quincy has done so many things. Like, I mean, Quincy has already written the contracts to where you could put a document, like a contract, on the blockchain, right? Run it through a hash. It gives you a hash. You put it on the blockchain. The people sign the transaction, which is the electronic signature. So now you have the contract, but you don't have the information public, but the hash can prove that was the contract simply by taking it and running it through and making sure.
I like that. Now you're going to have me reaching out to Quincy.
I know. Huh? I love it.
And
I love
following
this.
into XDC.
So dope. Like, oh my goodness. Like, this is such great information.
I was also told Corium has it too.
Okay.
And that was the first time I had heard that. I didn't realize Corium had them as well.
I just think this is so great because this right here is just giving us the information to let us know how interconnected everything really is and how far we are moving in this ecosystem. I am so stoked right now and I'm mind blown.
Well, I'd always heard, trying to find the balance and truthing in the blockchain, right? I'd always heard that, one of the things that could happen is that you could have your driver's license and you don't have, when you show proof that you have a driver's license, they don't see your address, they don't see your birth date, they just see how old you are, or if you're going to the liquor store or the, wherever, if you're having to show ID, even voter ID, whatever. I'd heard these things, but this is the first time I've actually heard it in practice, and this is actually part of the conversation that I've had a really hard time with around truthers and people who are afraid of the blockchain, because my mind is blown that we know the people. That's first.
That part.
When you mentioned Mocha app, when you mentioned Quincy, we know Island Go's been talking about
all
it for
of those
years.
have been on Dipato show, by the way.
All of them. All of them.
Right? All of them.
So good.
This is why when Melissa says, what she says sometimes, I'm like, dude, man, you have no idea the people that are coming to these shows in a couple years. Like 12 million, I call it now. Anyways, I wanted to go back to what you guys were talking about in terms of the other ideas too, because that would be incredible, because that's one of the things I have a problem with my wandering footprint, right? All of these things that you're experiencing right now are all things that I've experienced. And one of the things I noticed on Stellar years ago, one of the, sort of people that were being talked about, whatever, was a little restaurant, and they were using tokens as points. And that's why my original memberships were made as tokens. So my original 2023-24 founders memberships were actually tokens.
Right.
And because I had heard this, and so what this restaurant was doing is buy 10 spaghettis, get your 11th spaghetti free. And so, we think of these tokens being there's so millions of them, right? They had only issued a small amount of them. And same with my original membership tokens, which is why I put them over on NFTs, because you can make this year, because NFTs are prettier. You can put more information. Each one is non-fungible, so you can't resell it to somebody else. But one of the things that I had been thinking for a long time for you is exactly NFT equals, product.
Right.
But also two things. One, the membership card, like a frequent flyer card,
Right.
like that you get 10 from, you get 10, you get one free. And then you get, maybe your
Right.
new ones are like fancier gifts. Maybe they all go in a song or something, like you just like, they're the bonus ones. And then maybe if you
Got it.
collect 10 bonus ones, which means like 100, whatever, you could rely that on, you could base that on a physical product or how much was spent. And then the other thing was, for some reason, I can't remember because I didn't get to read what Island Ghost is saying about midnight. I saw her name and I got distracted.
She just said, I heard
Saying she got tagged.
somebody tagged me saying you guys were talking about midnight.
We
so
are. We
Too
are.
late. You're
Stephanie,
going
for
to have to
sure.
watch the recording. You
You're
should
gonna
have
have
left.
to go back, Stephanie. You should have stuck around. Just saying.
Well, I will say I am super excited because we right now have 263 people that are watching this stream right now. And I swear we are given some great information in here today.
Man.
And it's not just about Keda's Brew. It's just about what we can do, especially for those IRL businesses that are really looking to implement themselves and to get into the Web3 space. You know what I mean? Like, people don't realize these businesses that are out here now, they're going to have to be on chain.
Yep.
They're going to have to. And regardless of whether they decide to just, figure out a way, to either tokenize or make NFTs or however they're looking to do it, or if they decide to have a business in the metaverse, because that's a whole nother aspect of it. They still are going to have a way to be able to accept payment for whatever their service or products are, right? So if that's the case, then, you know what I mean? These are the type of conversations that we need to be having and letting people know that not only are they not crazy for thinking that this is something that they need to do, but just know that it's coming. If it's not already here, it's coming. You know what I mean? And if I got to be one of the first ones to do it, okay.
No, I love that you are one of the first people that I know personally that's doing it. Mm-hmm. And what I see, Keda, is a whole world opening up for you, and you're going to be as you're going through this, you're going to be running into those walls and asking those questions and figuring out how to fix it or how to maneuver around it. And, like two really important things that were just brought up is the zero knowledge proofs, and Abdi brought up the digital ID. Yeah. And how a lot of people are really afraid of that. And there's a lot of scare tactics surrounding that. But if you really think about it, in terms of, at some point being able to have control over your own digital ID, not having to go to the store and show the guy at the gas station your driver's license, who then
all you have to do is prove the fact that you have one.
Correct. If you have something, whether it's probably going to end up being our phones, right? It's probably going to be our phones, or you can opt for a card or whatever, but you're verified. Look, we got to be verified with somebody, the Social Security office, whatever office it is, that you end up having control over your digital ID, and then boom, our privacy is then more protected. Now, people will say, yes, but they can track you around the blockchain. They can do all these things. They're tracking you now.
They already are.
And you're actually giving all your information to strangers already, right? Every time you do a purchase, just like we said, someone orders from you, and we're giving our information. But if, like what Lady K is saying, you use XDC or this midnight to facilitate that transaction, you don't even have to have the onus of having that person's information. You just know it's verified, and that's where it's shipping to.
And the beauty of it is depending on how that can be also put into play, I may not even have to have their address.
Exactly.
The only thing that I need to do is to be able to verify the fact that this has been paid for, the information has been sent, and then that can be done in the background, that I don't have to do it at all, and that these people can feel safe, that no one has their information. Like right now, everybody's listen, I am not dumb enough to think that all my information, everything under the sun about me is out there. I mean, I wouldn't be getting all kinds of letters and check, emails and, text messages from people I don't know if it wasn't, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, I've always said I could never do dirt anyway. I swear I could never do anything nefarious, because they'd be like, that chick, she did it. It was her. So it doesn't even make sense.
Well, going back to Melissa's comment about people being worried about being tracked on the blockchain, like that's very true. Like they can track us on the blockchain. The thing I love about the blockchain is you can see what I'm doing, but you can't stop me from doing it.
Yeah.
That's the key, is they don't have jurisdiction. It's jurisdiction. They can see, but you're not in their jurisdiction. Continue, please.
And that's real, because every state has different jurisdictions, have different rules. So at the end of the day, if I'm in Texas today, but it has something to do with something in New York, that's something very different. That's a different jurisdiction.
And this right here is the reason why it's so important that the world is cooperating and building, that these standards are getting put in place, right? Because of these reasons, for the interoperability of it all. And, there will be these standards. We will be using them. How soon, I don't know, but I think it's going to be sooner than later. It will be baby steps. There'll probably be stuff that gets blown up, and I don't mean literally, but I'm saying like, there'll probably be something that happens. And then there's, it's like, oh gosh, we got to legislate around this, right? This is the kind of stuff that always happens, but it's definitely in the works. We got like 15 minutes left.
Yes.
And first, I want to see if Lady K and Optimistic have any more questions. But I definitely wanted to get to you collaborating with other crypto projects. But I want to see if you guys have questions first.
Okay, I'll summarize real quick. That's Basel 3, Basel 4, all that stuff with the banks compliance. Those are the implosion of banks, right? Because you have to have enough to get into the next sphere. First, second of all, pretty sure Mr. Mann, who was on here a couple weeks ago, he talked specifically about October and these big qualifying dates. Third, I remembered what I was going to say earlier. And that was another thing that I was noticing, is people were tracking where all the ingredients come from. So while we're moving into the digital age and this whole thing, I remember it was like Surfboard Company or something, and they were talking about just like where the wax came from and just the little things about the product. And then you could like trace it back to the original people. And I truly believe, obviously with the Wandering Footprint, I believe that eventually all your ingredients, who the people are behind it, the love that goes into things will matter. And we as humanity will reward those who are putting their love energy and their passion into their passion project. And I just love that you're working on that. And then, I can't wait to hear more about these collaborations.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I also wanted to, maybe if you want to talk about it here, or maybe we can do it on the after space. Lady K and we all had this conversation the other day about those sort of chips, like what are they called?
Yes.
And
we have to talk about that. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think that you could have an NFT
after
with a little
space, not now, after space, because that's a
Lady K, did you have any other questions before we moved on with the collaboration?
Yeah, let's go to the collaboration.
Okay. So we know that you started to tip on it a little bit at the beginning. So you're working with some crypto project developers to support real world blockchain projects. Wonder like kind of how it came about and what kinds of projects, and how does it align with your Keda's Brew mission that you've got going?
So I do have to give a shout out to the guys from TrueFi. who are just amazeballs, and Mr. Zam, Team Green in the
house.
audience there, as well as Mr. Asi Nasi, the Budsy Buddy. They have this trifecta of just amazingness. All three of them are just powerhouses in this space, and they give such great advice, as well as make sure that I feel supported. And what is amazing about this is, they always have an RWA space. They have a couple of them. One of them is on Friday nights. It's the Friday Fiesta. We talk about things there. And then there's also an RWA space that they have on Sundays. I would happen to have been in their RWA space a couple of weeks ago, and I was talking about Keda's Brew, and one of the other projects that was there, which is the Bearded Ape Society, had asked me, hey, have you ever thought about doing a beard oil? And I was like, not really, but I sure can do that. So, and I had gone away. I was on a cruise for a week, and I was just on there planning, thinking of ways that I can do this. And, a whole lot of things came to mind while I was, on that cruise, of a way to be able to not just make a beard oil, but to make a comprehensive just line that's specific to men that have beards. And when I got home from the cruise, y'all hear me all the time. I'm in the space and I'll say, okay, I'm in the lab, right? I'm in the lab. And I did come up, as soon as I got home, I came up with a beard oil, and I came up with 3 different ones. And the beauty of it is I said, okay, we're going to beta test it. Okay. So I sent it out to Zach from the Bearded Apes. I sent it out to Mr. Zam. I sent it out to Steak and Bake. I sent it out to Asi Nasi. And I also sent some to Miss Melissa for her Ryan. What was amazing about that was I got some real feedback. Anybody that's heard me in a space, anywhere, I want the feedback. I want to know how it feels, how it smells. Does it work for you? Does it moisturize? Does it help the hair on your beard grow? Does it help and soothe the skin underneath? How does that work for you? I want to know so that I can have the best product that I can create. And everything that I have heard concerning that beard oil has just been amazing, and it has made me so amped to actually finalize the final product as of right now, just for that one, right? Because I'm sure there will be others as well. But I know I've said this before. I'm a little, I guess I'm a little selfish in this way, that when I came up with these scents, I literally was like, I want it to smell like how I want it to smell. If a guy's walking past me and he's got this, I want to be like, what is that, and where did that come from? I want to know what that is. You know what I mean? And so that was the whole thought process behind it. And I've heard nothing but good things. And Miss Melissa is using it in her own hair. I love it. I love the fact.
I'm like smelling it.
Maybe it's because she wants to be able to smell.
And look at. I mean, it's in my hair. It's like making it shiny, and yeah, I like it.
This is the trickle, right? Because I started with a beard oil, and now that's going to trickle into a hair oil and a lock oil. You know what I mean? I have locks. This is my hair. A lot of times people think that it's, that my hair are braids, but no, it's not. It's my hair. So I'm going to try to find what I can do for my own hair in order to be able to moisturize it, to have it grow and stimulate my scalp. All of those things, I want to do that. And I see an actual comment from K Buddy. She says, I want to ask about acne. Oh, of course. I got you, sis. I got you. for sure.
Chat
We'll
about it
talk
in the
about that.
spaces. That's great. I do want to know though. So the concept of collaborating with another project, using your products,
Yeah.
kind of combining. How do you see that working out in terms of collaboration? And then again, I guess it'd be like tokenizing it. Like, would it be an NFT?
Right.
Like, how do you see that working?
So the Bearded Ape Society has a very a quite extensive ecosystem and community, okay, of people that are aping in, no pun intended, that are aping into the coin and NFTs. So they have a whole NFT
And into
line as
Keda's
well
Brew.
as token. I swear that was not on purpose.
I love it.
So they have their own ecosystem, right? And for Zach looking at this, he's like, hey, it makes total sense. Why not have a beard line? Why not have a line of products that can also be tokenized? You can use an NFT, just like we were talking about. You can use that NFT for the inventory, right? And who knows, it may be a situation where we come up with one that's specifically for them, make it a limited edition, but there's also a Bearded Apes that is literally, this is part of the Keda's Brew catalog. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes down to it, I love the fact that it's already a community that has a beard situation. You know what I mean? And so for me to make a product that can support their project, heck yeah, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? Let's do it. You know what I mean? And when it comes down to it, I'm making a pomade. I have already made a bar soap. Who knew I was going to be up here making daggone bar soap, having chemistry projects?
I love it.
Who knew that? You know what I mean?
I'm so excited about it all.
Me too, man. It's just, I swear it's nothing but God. He put it in my head and I'm just rolling with it. You know what I'm saying? It is so great when you allow yourself to dream, and then not just dream, but then also to just follow through. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I would be nothing if I didn't try to utilize the gifts that he gives me. That's all there is to it. All I want to do is to follow through. You know what I mean? And to make the best product that I can, to be able to touch people, you know what I mean? Be able to make them smile, make them feel comfortable. If you feel like, hey, my beard is scraggly and I want it to look good, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
One of the best compliments I heard on that space, because obviously James has a big beard. And so as soon as I heard you were working on this, I thought, well, that'd be a whole other world if I could convince James to put something in his beard. And that one of the compliments was that the person put it on and it didn't feel oily on their skin above. And then it didn't feel very oily. And that's what James is
That's
always
what Ryan
complaining about.
said.
Oh,
Hmm?
y'all make me so happy.
James and Ryan are so similar, Opti,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean that is so he doesn't like that either. And I don't know about you, but have you bought a bunch of oils for him to get him to try it? And he just won't use it.
Yeah,
he
will
won't use
not.
it.
Yeah,
but this one, he put it in, and it's like it didn't get all over his face. It didn't irritate him, and it was, and even the hands. They're not oily after you use it. It's fantastic.
And listen, all I can do is say, thank God I was able to find the right balance. You know what I mean? You said, what's the wrinkle situation on your goods? Okay. So let me just let you know, beef tallow. 55. All I'm gonna tell you right now, beef tallow. First of all, beef tallow, it helps to protect the actual skin layer, and it promotes the skin barrier. Okay. It has the same type of fat that's in your skin, and every single cell in your body has a phospholipid layer, which means it has some sort of fat in it. The fat that's in beef tallow is the same type of fat that's in your skin. And because of that, it moisturizes better. I do not wear makeup at all. I don't. I use beef tallow. on my skin. I wash it and I go on about my business. You know what I mean? And the good part about it is, as I'm getting older, like y'all don't know, I'm totally doxing myself right now. I'm 50. Okay. And I'm here saying to you, you can have good skin. Team Green, I swear, I swear to you, I was in the space and his mom.
She wants to zoom in on your face. Huh? Bring your face closer to the camera. Show us your face.
Put her the whole screen, Melissa.
Stop
Put her
it.
the whole screen.
Shout out to David. He's been chatting all by himself on Twitter, I think. Apologies, David. Yes, that's true. You have to join the YouTube stream for the interactive. For whatever reason, the StreamYard, it doesn't always pull those in, so we apologize. We weren't ignoring you.
But great news, David. We're going to be on Twitter in like 4 minutes.
Yes.
4 minutes.
Yes.
14 minutes. 14. Remember, we wait 10 minutes in between
so
that we have our little after.
You can have a potty break and come back. But no, I was just going to say that Team Green's mom had come and told me, she said she started using the Keda's Brew that has the colloidal oatmeal in it. And she said that she had gotten so many compliments on her complexion. And I swear he doesn't know this, but I was crying because I was just like, oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. I was so happy to hear that because it makes me feel like I'm at least trying to do something right. And it's being received that way. And so that was a beautiful thing for me to hear her. And she was so excited about it. So, it's for me, I literally make every single batch myself with love. They're small batches. And I just want it to be the best product that it can be.
We have 2 minutes left so that we can end on time. I guess I would say this. Where do you see Keda's Brew going in the next few years as you integrate crypto and tokenization? Like, what are your big dreams and goals for it?
Wow. Okay. So first things first, I'm going to be doing an actual show on IMU TV. And it will be Keda's Brew TV. And it'll be What's Keda Brewing Today. And that's a beautiful thing because what it does is it ties everything in that I actually do, which is a lot, you know what I mean? So because of that, I see Keda's Brew as being like anything. Keda's Brew is just that, whatever I decide to brew up in the moment. It could be tea, it could be coffee, it could be wine, it could be spirits, it could be Tabasco sauce, it could be clothing. It doesn't matter. I'm here for it. Period. I'm here for it.
Fantastic. Any final thoughts? We'll go Lady K, Optimistic, Keda, and then we'll see you guys over on the after space. I did post kedasbrew.com in the chat, guys. Please make sure that you go over there and check her website out and be sure to join us in the after space. Lady K.
I hope people join in the after space because I think we got a lot more questions for Keda and we're going to continue the conversation.
100%. Optimistic.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks so much for this conversation. I'm excited about the after space and just like where it will all go. And, I just want to say one of the things that I was most excited about is James always puts essential oil like spruce and like pine and things like that on his handkerchief when he's riding his bike. And so when you were like, man smell you like, I'm like, well, what is that? And you're like, woodsy smells. I'm like, oh yes, that is a man smell. So I'm looking forward to sharing it. And I just wanted to share Optimistic Prime says hi.
Love you guys. Keda, any final words?
No, because I want us to be on time.
All right, girlfriend. You guys, thank you so much. Please be sure that you come to the after space and we will see you in 10 minutes. Love you all. Have a good rest of the day. We'll see you next Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern time.